Hi, my name is Chloe Marrero.
And I am Samantha Lester.
Hi,
We are
ladies.
interviewing Zona Butler.
Thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome.
So first question, were you born on Nantucket?
I'm afraid not. I've lived here for about 30 years, but not a Nantucketer.
Where were you born and why did you move here?
I was born in Louisville, Mississippi. I grew up in a small town, pretty much like Nantucket. Everybody knew everybody. I have 4 brothers and 1 sister. We were very close in age, and we just had a great childhood. My dad was a truck driver. He took us on a lot of vacations, and my mom was a stay-at-home mom most of the time. So I met my husband in college at Mississippi State University, and we were married on June 11th. And we moved here on June 13th, 1988. My oldest daughter, graduated from Mississippi State University, and my youngest is attending there now. So we're keeping up the tradition.
Can you tell me a little more about your kids?
Okay, I have 3 kids. I'm a daughter that's 29. Her name is Whitney. She is currently attending Oxford Brookes in England to get her master's in accounting. My son is 27 years old. His name is Joshua, and Joshua is the one that was in the car accident. It was almost exactly 4 years ago that he was in a very bad car accident out in South Dakota, and he had to learn to walk and talk and pretty much think all over again. He attended college at University of New England. He was a couple of credits shy of getting his diploma. That's a goal we'll be working on for him in the next couple of years to make sure he gets his diploma. And then my youngest is 20. Her name is Jasmine, and she wants to be a fashion designer. So she is majoring in fashion at Mississippi State University and doing quite well.
What would you say is your most positive character trait?
I love an adventure. I'm always up for a challenge. I think that speaks volumes for me.
What have you done to act on this trait?
Don't you want to know? I've done quite a few things. I've been on Nantucket for about 30 years. Like I said, I worked for the same company for about 26 years. That was Nantucket Bank. I gave a lot of time and energy. I was creative. I created, products. We did a lot of firsts with Nantucket Bank. And I think my sense of adventure, is what helped move that along in my position. And after that, I embarked on a few other things. I like to think of myself as a party planner, an organizer, although if you saw my house, you probably wouldn't think that. I love a challenge. I'm up for anything. If someone says, hey, Zona, you want to try this? I'm like, sure, let's do it. Except for bungee jumping. That's not something I ever want to do.
Many people know that you won the Russert Award. So first off, what is the Russert Award?
So the Tim Russert Award is an award that was created by the Nantucket Boys and Girls Club to honor Timothy Russert. He was a strong advocate for the Boys and Girls Club. He was very instrumental in helping raising money for the Boys and Girls Club annually with our Summer Groove concert. And I was honored to win that award. To be recognized at that level was just, the ultimate goal. I think I've reached some really great goals. Bucket list. My bucket list is very short nowadays.
What was it like to win the award, and how did it impact your life?
I won that award the same year that my son was in a devastating car accident. So to me, that year was really tough. And he survived, which is a blessing in itself. I had to take care of my son, who was the ultimate Boys and Girls Club attendant, let me say. The impact that award had on my life was it just told me, you never stop, you never give up, and you have to take care of the children. It just made me feel like, I had done something right in this world.
So you do a lot of volunteer work. What specifically do you do?
Well, I volunteer a lot with my church. I also volunteer for the Nantucket Girl Scouts, or the Girl Scouts of New England. I'm a lifetime Girl Scout. I was never a Girl Scout growing up, but that was an area, again, I got involved with when I was involved with the club. I realized that the Girl Scouts existed on Nantucket, and it was a viable institution. And I wanted to get involved with that because women are hold important roles in the world. And I wanted girls on Nantucket to be aware of that and get involved. So I volunteered there. I've also volunteered for numerous organizations on the island. I'm a part of the Harvey Foundation right now. I've been a part of Small Friends on Nantucket. I'd like to emphasize that volunteering is important for everyone. This community is full of opportunities to volunteer, and you never know when that opportunity is going to present itself for you to volunteer. And if you ever have a need in your life, those same people, the same community that volunteers wherever there's a need are the people that come back to you. I think it's important to give back some of your time. If you have it, give some. My problem right now is saying no. I think I have a little too much on my plate because of my love of volunteering. You can't do your volunteering well if you do too much, I think. And that's something I've learned the hard way.
You said your son was in a car accident. What was it like for you?
Wow, that was tough. I had just retired from my job of 26 years, and I was, checking some things off the bucket list, if you will. And I had spoken to my son that night, the night of his accident, and I told him to be careful. It was snowing. And the next morning is when I got the news. All I could think was, I got to get to him as quickly as I can. And being on Nantucket, that's not always easy. It was hard, but at the same time, I went into take charge mode. And all I could think of is, what do I need to do next? What does he need? Where can he best be serviced? Do I have him in the right place? Gathering all of my resources, anybody I knew in the, medical profession, anybody that had gone through anything similar, I was reaching out and getting all the channels together that I needed for him. I lived with him in the hospital for 3 months, and then we came home, and my whole life became making sure everything was aligned and in the right order for him, that he was getting all the help that he could possibly get to get him back on his feet, working on his own. He has a traumatic brain injury, and that's something you can't control. But other than that, physically, he's come a long way. He wasn't able to walk before, but he had great therapists. He is now walking without assistance. He is still working out and receiving physical therapy. Thank you, Joe Manning, for that. And, he's making strides. And I'd like to, one day see him married with kids and living his life. And I believe that God has it in store for him.
How is he doing now?
He's doing really well. He volunteers. Speaking of volunteerism, I think he picked up that a little bit from me. He volunteers to help out with the basketball team, which is his love. And he really enjoys, helping others. And the kids, they have a lot of respect for him.
That sounds like a really, really hard time in your life.
Yeah, it was.
So let's focus on something a little more lighthearted and a little happier. What was the best thing that has ever happened to you?
The best thing that happens to me is usually the joy I get out of helping somebody else, or letting someone else have a dream come true, if you will. My kids, to me, are the best thing that happened to me. I don't think of them at all as any type of disappointment, because I can live a little vicarious through them, And so the most fun I had in the last few years, I have to say, was my daughter's Sweet 16. I threw her a Sweet 16, and I let her invite 150 kids. I don't know what I was thinking, but it was so much fun. I had so much fun planning it. It was one of the things I did right after I retired from work, just before my son's accident, is that we did that. And it was great. So I hope she had a great time, because I certainly did.
You said in the past that you love how close the Nantucket community is. Why is that?
Because I'm a family person. I love family. I love enjoying doing things together, seeing people every day, saying hi and sharing your lives. The accident happened with my son. The way the community came together without any kind of effort on my part is a part of what made it so easy. When I was flying to get to him as quickly as possible, I was reading something on Facebook, and I'm not a Facebook person. It was shared that everybody was lighting a candle for my son. And someone said that they were flying over Nantucket and they can see the candles. And I thought that was an awesome picture, and that gave me strength. So that's what I like, sharing and feeling the sense of family and unbridled love, support when people are in need. And you get that and you see that. We can agree to disagree. But when it comes down to it, we still care about each other and we support each other no matter what.
What do you want to say to all the kids growing up in today's modern day society that will help them go through life?
First of all, be a kid. Don't not enjoy your time as a kid, not having responsibility, not having to pay bills and be responsible for somebody else. Enjoy your childhood. And then make good choices. I think everybody has it in them and knows right from wrong, good from bad. Make good choices and you will be a success. Whatever you work on, work hard at it, give it every bit that you have. And in the end, you will succeed. You'll be a success.
As you were saying earlier, you love helping the Nantucket community. What do you think we, as the community, can do to better the island?
We can continue to support each other, but if you see somebody in need, help. Don't walk by. Don't not stop. Don't not say hi. Sometimes we do that, and it's so easy to do that. But if you see somebody that looks like they could use a hello, how are you today, do it. You'd be surprised at how those simple words can help pull someone out of a slump that they're in. There's a lot of, I think, depression and loneliness on the island, some that we don't even know about. But it's part of the isolation, the gray lady that we have to deal with. We don't realize sometimes that all someone needs is a smile, an acknowledgement that they exist and that they're important. I think if we do just a little bit more of that, we'd be surprised at the effect it'll have on everyone involved.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
And with Zona Butler, she talked about how surprisingly it wasn't easy, but it was easier than she thought after her son got in the car accident. She said that the whole community sort of came together and helped her, and it was a lot easier than she thought it would be to, help him recover and get him into PT and all that stuff that you need to help a recovering child.